Oh my gosh, there's a lizard in my bed. Well, I can add that to the list of creatures that I've woken up next to. Over the years, my family and I have woken up with some questionable roommates: scorpions, spiders, a dead bat, giant longhorn beetles, squirrels, birds, specifically mocking chats, even a rock monitor. Oh, and let's not forget the time a scorpion stung my brother right in his bed. And today I get to add another creature to that list, a girdled lizard. I've never actually seen one of them in this area before, so the fact that it was in my bedroom is crazy. And it's definitely not the kind of lizard you'd find in your house like a gecko, so I can't imagine it being very happy in here, so I'll probably release it. Okay, it's a little while later now, and I'm going to be attempting to make a kombucha scoby because my sourdough needs a fellow fermented friend. She's been very lonely recently. If you don't know what kombucha is, the best way I can describe it is it's a bacteria and tea pancake. That's a terrible definition. So a scoby is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and it's a thick jelly-like disc that ferments the tea to create kombucha. So, like I said, a bacteria and tea pancake. It actually looks disgusting. I'll put a picture of it on screen. It's supposed to have a lot of health benefits. I think it's got a lot of probiotics in it. And then kombucha itself is a fermented tea drink that's basically made out of the scoby. So I'm going to be attempting to do that today. I'm going to start by boiling 7 cups of water. Then I'm going to dissolve half a cup of sugar in the boiling water. This is what the kombucha eats. So like I feed my sourdough starter, water, and flour, the kombucha will be eating sugar. She's got a sweet tooth. Okay, and once that's dissolved, I have to add 4 black tea bags. So while that was cooling, I was reading through the recipe, and it turns out that I have to leave it for 4 weeks. I thought that the sourdough took long. It took a week. But 4 weeks to let my tea rot. Rot beautifully. In some cold, dark cupboard. I'm scared I'm gonna invent like some new species here. So I'm just gonna have to tell my family, if you hear bubbling in the background, it's not a witch's cauldron. It's my rotten tea learning how to breathe. I know I keep saying rotten. It's not rotten. It's just fermented. But you know, it's still sitting in the cupboard for 4 weeks, which is kind of gross. So while that is still cooling, I'm going to get the actual kombucha. You can just buy this at any shop. It has to be raw, unpasteurized, organic, all of those things. Mine just says unpasteurized and raw, so I don't know if this is going to work, but we're just going to hope for the best. Okay, so here it is. Let's give it a taste test. Starting to really rethink this whole thing. It's not that bad. Now that this is cool, I'm going to add 1 cup of this kombucha. It's so fizzy. And then I'm going to pour this into this jug. I'm supposed to use a jar, but I don't have one this size. And then I'm going to cover it up with this cloth and a rubber band, and I'm going to put it in the cupboard for 4 weeks. I'll probably update you guys after all of that time has gone past. If you don't hear from me again, it probably didn't work. I'm going to go and put this in the cupboard, and then we're going to go and do some painting. These guys have been watching me the whole time. I don't know why they're so sleepy today. Never mind, there's been a sudden change of plans. Apparently someone just found an abandoned baby bush baby by one of the room's decks, and it is looking really dark right now. It's going to rain any second, so I've got to hurry and go and get this guy. This is way too early after last episode squirrel rescue. Hi, little guy. You don't look too good. I'm gonna help you. This little one was apparently spotted here early this morning and has been out on this deck the entire day, and judging from how weak it is, probably longer. Bush babies, also called galagos, are nocturnal, and it's definitely not meant to be out here at this time of the day because it'll make it feel really vulnerable. They say he's been here the whole morning.
I actually think he's been here longer. The previous guest said they saw a bush baby in the room, and I'm wondering if it's the same one. We thought he's gone out, so that means he's been there for 2 days. I'll get him some rehydrate quickly. So you don't think he's just weak, eh? You think he's broken a leg? Wow, you got him so easily. Oh my gosh, I think he's dehydrated. 2 days. Okay, put the lid on. Let's go fix him up.
Because of how tired and dehydrated it was actually quite easy to catch, so I gently picked it up, put it in the carrier and headed back to the house where we could give it some oral rehydration solution. You okay? We won't be keeping this little one. It's heading straight to an animal rehabilitation center as soon as possible, and that's really the best thing to do if you do find an orphaned little animal. We don't have as much experience with them as we do with squirrels, and it's actually illegal to raise them yourself anyway without a permit, so it's definitely the best solution. But in the meantime, this little one will be staying in a cozy little box in my bedroom. Okay, so now I'm going to be painting. So as you guys know, we have recently renovated and I have got this very big blank space here in our bathroom and it looks really boring, and I've been wanting to paint a mural for a while, so this gave me the perfect opportunity to do that. So I spent the last few days sketching out this very simple tree. I used to draw quite a bit, but that was usually on an A5 piece of paper, so this was definitely a bit of an adjustment. I also want to paint some willards, kingfishers on here, and maybe some leaves. I'm not sure, but I think today I'm just going to actually paint the actual tree. I'm just going to paint it one solid color. I'm just going to keep it very simple and minimalistic. I don't know if you guys can see the eucalyptus here. It just makes the bathroom smell nice. I picked it the other day. It's a beautiful tree. It's huge. We don't have any big trees like this where we live. This is a nice one. Should be enough. This paint is so thick. I think I might have to dilute it with water because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to look like this. Kind of jiggly. Okay, it's still extremely thick, but I got the color I wanted. Now it's time for the satisfying part. That wasn't as satisfying as the thought it would be. These walls are very textured. Okay, that took a little longer than expected, but now my dad has kindly offered to take us on game drive. So let's go see what we can find. I didn't actually end up needing that jacket. It turned out to be a beautiful sunny afternoon. Days like this really make me appreciate living out here, and it's something I'll never take for granted. Our reserve has quite a few African white rhinos, and being able to see them regularly is really special. Rhinos are endangered, and in many places their dew horns protect them from poachers who hunt them for their horns. It's baby season again, and all the little ones are starting to appear, but the baby elephants definitely steal the show. They're born pretty heavy at around 90 to 120 kilograms, but they still look so tiny next to their moms. They're still learning how to use their trunks. They'll trip over them, swing them around, or even suck on them like a dummy, but over time, they learn to grab food, drink water, and basically treat it more like a tool than a skipping rope. And this usually takes around 6 months to a year. There's just something so cute about their curious little faces and clumsy little steps that makes me completely fall in love with them. We then came across a herd of curious buffalo, and the first thing you notice is the big males with their thick horns. That thick part of the base is called the boss, and it's like a natural shield for their head. It helps them fight off predators and settle disputes with other buffalo. The older the male, the bigger and tougher the boss gets. The buffaloes haven't had their babies yet, but you can still see some of last year's calves. Hello, Zippy. That was a really lovely drive. We actually ended up seeing this really cool brown hyena skull, but I don't think I'll be including it in this video just because I don't want to be flagged for showing something that's a little bit too graphic because we're still in the process of decomposing. But before I end off this video, I thought I'd show you guys the bush babies that live on our roof because they're really cute. Every now and then when the monkeys aren't around, I like to treat the bush babies to a banana, which they absolutely love. Our roof is full of life with bats, squirrels, geckos, and honestly, who knows what else. And the bush babies have made themselves a nest in the roof of my parents' bedroom. And we are lucky enough to see them every night when they leave to go out and look for insects and tree gum. And then we also get to see them when they come back early in the morning. Also, just listen to how alive the garden sounds at night, and that's excluding the baboons, hyenas, nightjars, owls, and all the other creatures that like to call at this time of the day. I don't think you'll fancy a dung beetle. A little too big. We'll live another day.